After leaving terrific food, great company and shipwrecks behind us, we headed to Damaraland, right smack dab into a sandstorm. The slow advance put us quite a bit behind schedule.
It was such a severe head-on east wind. We noticed later that our windshield was entirely sandblasted.
The Brandberg Mountains is famous for its numerous rock paintings, apparently 50,000 of them. A large amount of different animal paintings can be found, which is an indication that wildlife must have been abundant during that time.
The flora and fauna of the region have adapted perfectly to the harsh weather conditions of high heat and persistent drought. Beautiful scenery, ever changing with the light. The rock formations were fascinating. This land God made in anger. I can just imagine spewing all of those rocks in anger. Why, I feel like I could do that today. Mostly am I disappointed in mankind's lack of respect for good old Mother Earth. We have not been good stewards over our dominion. We may quickly need to learn from this harsh environment. Survival if we keep our ignorance to the obvious. The scenery in Damaraland is a highlight of Namibia. We arrive at Damaraland Camp in the late afternoon, just in time to relieve our tired drivers.
We quickly check into our rooms, freshen up and get ready for a great sundown.
Our guide Regan aims to bring us to a grand sunset location.
And the lodge employs many locals on its staff and funds local good works like boreholes, also known as wells, education and training for the people. It's a rare venture which integrates communities, the environment and wildlife on a sustainable basis and is rated as one of the most successful ecotourism ventures in Namibia. Large game is not concentrated year-round here, with the natural cycle of rainfall dictating the seasonal movement of wildlife along the Huab River, which can be explored from the camp.
That's the United States.
Regan is our guide and he's a man on a mission. He does not want us to miss a promised spectacular sunset. So we charge out of the valley into our beautiful open-air vehicle with the wind blowing through our hair. It's a whole other cause for relaxation. Sundowners and a beautiful sunset coming up.
Oh, that magnificent or
You are really in the wilderness, and that's what's most captivating.
And this majesty of the mountainous backdrop. As soon as we land, Regan set up for sundowners and we tried to capture the beauty of the fast-fading sun, dancing with the clouds and the incredible serenity. We made it back to camp in time to meet some of our other travelers from the British Virgin Isles.
Dinner menu for you.
The dinner menu is presented in both English and the Tlik-sounding Damara language.
Die surura ua breti cha.
I understand every word.
And we had a wonderful dinner with an ending of lively music from our wonderful fun staff.
Activities revolve around nature drives into the Huab River Valley in search of the rare and endangered desert elephant. The last free-roaming elephants which have successfully adapted to living in the harsh desert conditions. Kids can also enjoy guided nature walks where gemsbok, springbok and kudu are often sighted, as is the case with many birds.
The vast desert landscape of Damaraland is one of the most beautiful regions of Namibia. The stark beauty of the landscape and its serene solitude brings a sense of peacefulness.
Goats are most common, and farming is subsistence oriented and grazing lands are generally open. We happened across a troop of chakma baboons. They quickly scrambled up a safe distance from us to the top of the mountain of rocks. It is probably easier to list the food baboons don't eat as opposed to what it does. They forage for grass, seeds, roots, roots, bulbs, bark, mushrooms, fruit, insects, small vertebrates, eggs and grass is the most important item. They need access to drinking water, which is essential to their survival.
They can be mighty pesky, but to me, they're darn cute.
That's why they've got snorkels to dive on the airfield.
And the other one flapped its wings.
Kop means hammerhead.
Uh-oh, here comes the dust. Almost worth getting dusted as these folks just left the alleys and pointed us in the right direction. We run into an alley and then amble up the sandy riverbed on the search for the herd. Bouncy, bouncy.
Reagan does not want us to miss this sight. As swift as they can appear is as swift as they can disappear.
And there they are. I'd say these Ellies are mighty patient with us as we go for our photo ops, nonplussed by all our attention. We can tell these Ellies have not been threatened in the way we have seen elephants in other parts of Africa that have been poached. this young one has a slight itch on his head. Look at the dexterity of that trunk. And that little baby better behave, as that trunk is used for spanking bad babies too. This mama obviously knows what she wants, some kind of tasty morsel in there.
Damaraland is one of the few places in southern Africa where the magnificent wildlife of Africa can be found outside of national parks or private game reserve and to coexist with traditional villages and farms.
Oh, he doesn't fool me. He's checking us out.
While genetically no different from the cousins who live in wetter lands and with a greater abundance of food, these remarkable creatures have adapted their behavior to the harsh conditions of the desert. They eat less, drink less, and can walk up to 40-45 miles per day to feed and find water. Although surface water is extremely scarce, the elephants have an amazing knack for recall and know where the nearest water supply is. I just love watching these creatures ambling on in their mission. No doubt water is in the scenario. Because they walk such great distances in a day, their legs appear to be slimmer than that of their cousins, which has also given rise to the myth that desert elephants have bigger feet. This isn't actually the case. Their feet just look bigger compared to their narrower legs. Now this boy is strutting his stuff. The desert elephants of Namibia are one group of only 2 known populations of desert-dwelling elephants in the world. These are now a protected species, following extensive poaching in the early 1980s, which drastically reduced their numbers. It is estimated that their population is around 600. Luckily, fairly safe because of the lack of the size of ivory and the brittleness of the tusks. They break easily. Here is an example where weakness is a strength, and it means survival of the species here. If they manage to survive in these tough desert conditions, with an annual rainfall of around 13 inches, it bodes well for them.
Just when we thought we were done visiting, we hear a cacophony. Well, to me, it's obvious. It's a game of tag and he's it. And a bit frustrated by the enterprise. These are young bulls not ready to go off on their own and doing like all species, pulling their teenage antics. The rest of the herd catches up and calm is managed quickly by the matriarch.
The wind is kicking up with a vengeance. The early parade marches on. What a sight, and lucky us. We now bear witness to these incredible survivors of the Namib Desert. You could say it's a miracle of life to survive in this harsh, unforgiving environment. Adaptation to what life gives you. These wonderful survivors of the Namib, grateful to behold the majesty of this incredible place.
And now we head back to camp to relax and take in our environs and slow down a bit. Oh, and there is that little matter of the snake. So I decided to go for a swim till he's caught. Chris took big advantage of the passion fruit ice cream, I'd say. Doesn't he look like the cat that ate the bird? And to top the day off in the best way I know how, a good drink and a fabulous sunset.